Unavailable for our meeting this morning, so she's reached out and asked if I would assist with that, and of course I am happy to. So we'll call to order the Metro Tourism and Convention Commission, and I think we'll start with a roll call. And as I read your name, if you'll just acknowledge that you are here. Brittany Chandler is on the way. She texted me a few minutes ago, and she's just running a bit late. So Sherry Franklin is a no. Neely Glenn? Present. Thank you. Mark Hayes? Present. Oh, I didn't see you come in. Good morning. Rob Higgins? Good morning. Howard Cattell?
Present.
Thank you. Lisa LeClaire, present. Hank Lachlan?
Here.
And Q Taylor?
Here.
Great. We do have a quorum. We have more than five members present, and so we can vote on items this morning. I wanted to share that we have a public comment period. Brady, did we have anyone sign up for public speaking? Okay, good. Persons who write their name on the sign-up sheet will be allowed to comment on matters that are germane to the items on the agenda. To provide comment, you must sign up prior to the beginning of the meeting. And as you said, there's no one here to speak publicly. I also want to mention that any members of the press or the public, if there are any questions on any of the reports made at this meeting today, Bonna Johnson here with the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corp is available to answer any of those questions, and she can be reached at Bonna, B-O-N-N-A, at visitmusiccity.com. Very good. I think all of you received a copy of last quarter's meeting, February 8th. And so I'm looking for a motion to approve those, unless there's any questions about them.
On motion.
Thank you, Hank. Do we have a second?
Second, yeah.
Mark, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay. The minutes will stand approved. And let me get to my agenda here. We'll get to the financial reports.
Thank you, Lisa. The report that we're looking at today in your packet is for the 9 months, fiscal 9 months ended March 31st. And through the month of March, which is 75% of the way through our fiscal year, the financial performance of the city and the CVC continues to be very positive. At this time, Metro has reported on the hotel tax collections received through February, and year to date for those 8 months, the actual hotel tax collections received by the city has totaled $96,757,000. Of this total, the amount that's dedicated by law to tourism promotion is just over $28 million. This amount exceeds the total collections from the prior year for that 8-month period by about 2%. So any growth is good growth. As is reflected in the financial summary, the total that's been billed to Metro under our contract for this fiscal year through March is $23,559,000. And as the contract is a reimbursement-based contract, this total represents only the amount required to cover our actual expenses. The tax receipts themselves go directly to the city. In looking at the expenses, overall, our expenses for the 9 months have totaled just over or almost $31 million, with the proportional share of this amount tracking as expected among the major budget categories. We've now successfully completed the majority of our major events for the year. July 4th, hosting the SEC Media Days, our New Year's Eve event, hosting the American Bus Association annual meeting, and the combined costs for all these have come in well under the budget amount. So we've continued to be efficient. One item of note on the report relates to line 16, international programs. I'll go ahead and just wanted to point out that while it does appear that our spending in this area is somewhat below our budget, this is due to funds in this category that are earmarked to support our next direct international flight into Nashville International Airport. As we continue to pursue this flight, all of our other planned international promotion efforts are ongoing in full force. Our busy fourth quarter of activities will be reported on during future meetings, and there are no other material budget exceptions to report at this time. And so in summary, from a financial perspective, the year is progressing very well and in line with expectations. Be happy to try to address any questions if there are any.
Does anybody have any questions? I only have one, and that's related to the hospitality training. I see that we had budgeted $75,000 and we've spent $62. Is there something happening in the fourth quarter?
Yes, the majority of those costs in the budget are designed for, the annual license fees for the software that we use to support the video training. And those costs come in just like that bill comes due late in the year. And then secondly, we have money allocated to keep the videos current and updated. And so if we have money set aside in case we need to re-record past videos or record new ones to add.
We just did.
Okay.
We haven't gotten the bill yet.
Okay, terrific. Good answer. And maybe you have that in your report. I apologize for jumping ahead. If anybody has not seen any of those video trainings, I know when I was managing a hotel, that was something that we used very regularly in our training with our staff, and it's pretty darn terrific training for the front of the house employees in particular. So thanks for doing that. Any other questions? All right. So I guess we need a motion for approval of the financial statement.
Motion to approve.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Second? Howard, thank you. All those in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you. Next report is the president's report, Miss Ivy.
Thank you. I'll give you some updates since the last time we met. You're probably all aware that we hosted the Premier League Mornings Live show and had great success with that. The most attended or the highest attendance of any event they've hosted across the country, which we were thrilled with. It was 15,500 fans in Nashville, but then millions of viewers across the world. They featured it on NBC, Peacock, USA Network, Telemundo, and Universo. The Manchester versus Liverpool match totaled nearly 2 million viewers, which was unbelievable. And it was the most streamed simulcast match ever by averaging 600,000 viewers for each minute of programming. And I don't know if you watched it or not, but they had great coverage on Nashville. They kept going in and out of what was going on downtown and showing the city. It was really, really a great event for us to host. And we secured that event because of our relationship with the NFL when we hosted the draft and had such a successful draft. The Premier League guys, one of them used to work at NFL. And so he called one of the main guys at NFL and said, what destination does the best job at events? And he said Nashville, which was great. And it was his first time of working that event because he had just joined Premier League. So he was thrilled that he did it here, and we made it easier for him. Hopefully that'll lead to some matches with Premier League in the next few years and when the new stadium opens.
What is the rotation of that event? Do you know?
They move it around in spring and fall.
Okay.
I don't know. They said they would like to come back here, but they do move it around. They're going to the Midwest next. They want to hit that market. Okay. It's a good market for them. Moving on, you probably also saw that we held Preds watch parties, which has become a tradition when they do go into the playoffs. Unfortunately, they lost after the third event that we hosted, but we had several thousand that attended. We always have a couple of DJs like Jason Eskridge and Case Bloom down there to entertain in food trucks and make it a little more, exciting for the fans that can't go into the game. So that's always fun until they lose. Sadly, but they had a good season. One thing I wanted to bring to your attention, and we had already started working on this before some of the unfortunate incidents that happened downtown. We had created a campaign, and it's a way for us to be proactive about safety around the entertainment district. And making sure that our visitors and locals pay attention. We created this campaign. It's in your folders. It's called Push Pause When You Play Nashville, and it's just very simple, very direct. Don't leave your friends, never leave your drink unattended, don't overdo it, which means drink responsibly, and make memories you'll want to remember. It's gotten great feedback. We've gotten great feedback from the bars, and they have been putting it out. We're putting on digital boards, the graffiti ads downtown, and midtown, on the backs of the restroom doors and everywhere that they run ads. So we just want to get that out as much as we can.
Good plan.
So if you have a place you can put these, we have a toolkit, we have digital assets and posters that you can have, so let us know. And Metro PD and the mayor's office have been very supportive of this as well. Our next big event is July 4th. We have just announced the headliners. We have country music superstar Chris Young, Yola, 6-time Grammy-nominated artist, songwriter, and actor. She was also just recently in the Elvis movie. A Girl Named Tom, which is a sibling trio who made history by winning NBC's The Voice in 2021. You might know them. And Blessing Offer, a 2-time Grammy Award nominee and GMA Dove Award winner. So we have a really good, diverse lineup, mixing it up with genres of music. And then you'll recall that New Year's Eve we had a big charitable partner with the Hero program. And for 4th of July, we are doing the same thing, but with the Pencil organization. And $1 from each official event T-shirt sold will go to Pencil. And then we've also gotten our sponsors on board. And Simply Done is donating essential school supplies to benefit 500 Metro students. And our presenting sponsor, Dr. Pepper, will donate 500 backpacks. So we're trying to do what we can to enhance our partnership and then help Metro schools. And the last thing I have to report, you've also heard about the Safe Bar program through the Sexual Assault Center. We have been promoting that heavily for about 9 months now. I met with them soon after I became CEO and wanted to help them promote this program. We've been able to get 18 bars certified, and then there's another 8 bars in the process of being certified as a Safe Bar company. We adopted the program. We were the first event to adopt the program New Year's Eve. All the bartenders, we were trained. I think there were about 60 bartenders that we trained. We're doing the same thing for 4th of July. So we're just trying to set the example and get others on board to do it. And you don't have to be a bar downtown. It can be a bar, a restaurant, anywhere in the city can do it and should do it if you sell alcohol. It's a good program. Got to take care of our visitors and residents that go. That's all I have.
Very good. Any questions? Great. Good report. Thank you.
I want to say that I'm glad that you guys are disseminating this the way you have.
Thank you.
So important and great forward thinking.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to mention I had visitors in town for one of the watch parties, and we went downtown early in the day, and they went down to the Walk of Fame and saw the watch party, so hung around for a few minutes. I don't know how long they were there watching hockey, but they really enjoyed it, and I think they were really impressed with the fact that the city could do that and did do that and really embraced it. So, yeah, nice job.
It's kind of funny that we started it. What year was it we went to the Stanley Cup playoffs? 17? We ended up doing like 13 of those first. They kept growing and growing, and now other teams and other cities have called to ask us how to do it. But it's kind of funny that the Canadian cities have asked us how to have a hockey watch party.
All right. Marketing report. Heather.
Thank you. Sorry, my allergies are really bad right now. So Real quick update on the James Beard event that happened back in April at their platform location at Pier 57 in Lower Manhattan. We had 5 sold-out events throughout the week that featured award-winning independent chefs from Nashville. One of those events was a private event for clients and journalists featuring Chef Maneet Chauhan. And then the other 4 events were consumer-facing ticketed events with chefs like Vivek Surti from Taylor, Pat Martin from Martin's Barbecue, Julia Sullivan, Biscuit Love, and a few others. All of those sold out, which was really exciting. It was marketed by the James Beard Foundation to their members and their patrons, so it really reached that upscale foodie audience for us and put Nashville top of mind with them. We also had the added bonus of donated $60,000 worth of outdoor advertising from our friends at Pearl Media throughout Lower Manhattan promoting the events. So that was just an added bonus that we were very appreciative of. On the advertising side, in addition to targeted digital buys, this quarter we have added additional funding to finish our year leaning heavily on the OTAs, so those lower funnel booking sites, Booking.com, Priceline, TripAdvisor, really meeting people at the point of booking those rooms. We have also layered in a buy in Canada through Expedia that had some additional matching funds from Brand USA, and we've done a targeted digital buy in Canada as well. We have learned that we are one of only 8 U.S. cities that have direct flights to all 5 major cities in Canada. And actually, we just added a 6th with Winnipeg. So that's going to be a really important market for us going forward. On the PR side, in March, we hosted 4 journalists from Australia with an Australian media group. And then we hosted just last week a group from U.S. and Canada, 9 journalists. And the PR team has hosted 21 individual journalists since March. So there's been a lot of media in and out of the city over the last couple of months. And we are also in the process of working on a new website. So visitmusiccity.com in the next fiscal year will change completely, and we'll roll out a new site. So that's exciting.
That's big.
Yeah, it's big. Thank you.
It's a huge undertaking.
It is.
Phew. Any questions for Heather? Convention Tourism Sales Multicultural Sales Report. Marie? Or
I can kick it off.
okay, thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Our sales team is on track to hit their assigned goals. We're in good position. Of course, we have a lot of work to do before the end of our fiscal year, which is June 30th. So I want to thank Hotels at the Table for their partnership. Certainly need their help in pushing to the end of our fiscal, but we're in a good position as we head into the final stretch. We continue to promote a Need Month promotion, which is the first of its kind for our organization, with participation from 30 hotels located throughout the downtown and midtown areas. We appreciate their participation. Qualifying pieces of business will have to be associated with a citywide piece of business, and then they'll receive a rebate credit to the master from participating hotels. These groups have to land in need months, and a need month is defined as a month that's tracking off pace by 50% or greater. So think July, August, December, months that convention attendees don't like to attend conventions. So those are harder months to actually book into the city. So we're really leveraging this promotion into booking those windows. And we've had some success with this in booking just over 65,000 room nights into the city over those need months since January. And we're actively working 165,000 additional lead room nights over those need months, which have potential to close by the end of our fiscal year. So it's been a successful promotion. As it continues on, it'll continue to evolve, and we appreciate the hotel community for their support. On Tuesday, April 22nd, our team traveled to Atlanta for a sales blitz and took 20 of our member partners. Again, we appreciate their support of our effort in that respect. The Southeast is our largest producing market, so it was great to be back in that area, promoting Nashville as a destination. We took Cassidy Pope with us, who was a season 3 winner of The Voice, and she did a great job at our lunch and reception event. During that event, we celebrated Brenda Dempsey, who retires in July. She was our director of Southern Southern Regional Office, celebrated her service to the organization, and then introduced our new hire for that market, and her name is Jennifer Smith. And she was with the San Diego Convention and Visitors Bureau for 17 years. So certainly brings to the table a new set of clientele, and then we'll do great with our existing clientele in that market. It's a really key market for us, and she was a really key hire, so we're excited to welcome her to the team. And her first start date was the first day of the Blitz, so she hit the ground running in Atlanta. We're happy to have her. I'd be happy to answer any questions any of you may have or any feedback.
I have one quick question.
Yes.
On the need dates that you're looking at that are off pace, it's for current
Yes.
and future years, is that correct?
Yes, all the way through 31, but a particular emphasis on 26, 27, 29, and 30. And the need months vary by year. It's not consistent. It's literally off by 50% or greater as of actually mid-December of this year. So it has shifted a little bit with some additional positive traffic that we've had over those need months, but that was as of mid-December, and then we'll reevaluate again in July and realign.
Okay, great. That was a lot of room nights, 165 plus 65.
The 65,000 definite with an additional 165,000 lead room nights, an active tentative status yet.
Okay, awesome. Congrats.
Good questions. Yep. Marie?
Good morning. We are gearing up to help promote a lot of exciting events. June is always an exciting month in Nashville. As you know, it's Black Music Month, so we know that the National Museum of African American Music is working on their block parties and their community days, so we'll be helping to help support and promote them. It is also Pride Month. We're working with the Pride Festival folks as well as the Tennessee Pride Chamber on the various events that are taking place in June there as well. And of course, Juneteenth. We know that NAMAM hosts Community Day on Juneteenth, but there are a variety of different events on Buchanan Street, Fort Negley, and so we have a call actually tomorrow with the committee that's working on all of those events, and we'd like to support as well. I will say that I think I brought this up during our last meeting, but we are helping with the Urbanite Guide, which is a guide promoting multicultural Nashville, telling stories of a lot of the community folks that are doing great work in our city, as well as promoting attractions and events, etc. She has moved her launch date to June 27th, but we'll be helping with the promotion of that. She'll be sending out a press release, so you may be seeing that coming out in the next couple of weeks. And Heather and her team is helping with that as well, as far as the marketing piece. We're excited to be hosting Delta Sigma Theta sorority here again in our city. I say again because the last time we had them was at Gaylord Opryland in 2018, and they were a record-breaking attendance group. And so we're really hoping for record-breaking attendance again. They're meeting over the 4th of July, so I know Gaylord is preparing some exciting events for them to experience then. And what I'd like to ask is for those of you who may have special events during the month of June in honor of Black Music Month or in honor of Juneteenth, or want to help promote your establishment to Delta Sigma Theta, please let us know because we can help get the word out to them. And that is it for me. Any questions? Thank you.
Nice. Research report, Bruce.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Happy to be here again. Last May, when I reported record numbers after a successful concert weekend, I'm able to do that again. Morgan Wallen performed 3 nights at Nissan Stadium, while last year at this time it was Taylor Swift. In addition to touting last year's weekend numbers, I'll go through full month results for April, and then I'll show you hotel pacing for the next 4 months of the year. So let's dive in. On this slide, I'm showing you the preliminary hotel results for April. This is across the county. Nashville sold over 908,000 rooms, which is year-over-year increase of about just 1%. Hotel revenues declined slightly for that month, $196 million, which was down about 2% from April 2023. The decline can be attributed to the average daily rates are decreasing year-over-year by about 3%. Monthly occupancy was at 75%, down a couple percentage points, and that could be linked to the supply, which grew year over year by about 3%. The county room inventory now has 40,591 rooms throughout the county. That's how many hotel rooms we have to sell. The bar chart on there shows you the weekly average of rooms sold per night. 2 of the 4 weeks showed higher results year over year. I have a pie chart here. It breaks out rooms by segment, being transient, and then group, any group that's 10 peak or higher, and then contracted. So with that, 62% of rooms were sold in April were transient, 35% were group. So if you compare that to last April, the mix was about the same, but 2% share more with transient rooms. So it helps illustrate kind of a market shift that's going on, normalization, if you will, of pent-up leisure demand that we experienced post-COVID last year. Now into this year, transient demand went down by about 3%, but group demand went up significantly. It increased by about 8% year over year. So the takeaway here is that the slippage that we're seeing in transient leisure demand is being offset by the continued recovery of our group demand. So we're striving right now to hold tight our leisure visitation that we have. Those numbers are really good, but we also are seeing and encouraged by group continuing to rise. Next slide's the same format, but I'm zooming in on downtown for April. So in downtown, which is about a mile radius around Music City Center, there's 13,475 hotel rooms currently in operation. Stronger demand growth compared to the county, up 4% year over year. Occupancy was also up about 1% at 84% occupancy. Average rates were at $305, and that was also down about 3.4% year over year. Hotel revenues in downtown were flat year over year. The mix of the different types of rooms sold, the segmentation, 60% transient, 38% group. Same trend I'm seeing as the county. April transient was down, but only down about 1.4%. And then group continuing to see strong recovery underway. Group rooms were up about 14% year over year. And then to celebrate with the hotel community what happened last weekend. A very busy weekend, specifically Friday, May 3rd and Saturday, May 4th. So what was happening in town? Morgan Wallen here 3 nights, Thursday through Saturday. As we mentioned, the Predators had their playoff game against Vancouver. Unfortunately, they ended their season on Friday, May 3rd. And then a lot of the colleges were celebrating their graduations, their commencements. Belmont, Lipscomb, Tennessee State, and then out in Murfreesboro, Middle Tennessee also had their graduation. So as a result, weekend occupancy for Friday and Saturday in the county was 94% and 92% on those days. In downtown on Friday, it was 98% occupancy, 96% on Saturday. So we did have somewhat of a record. More than 75,000 rooms were sold if you combine Friday and Saturday looking at a weekend. That's just that just bested Taylor Swift's weekend head to head. On Friday night, the average rates across the county were $322, and downtown it was $487. The impact of all this weekend activity was resulted in what was happening at the airport on Sunday. The amount of departures coming out of the airport hit a record, 43,474 departing passengers. So that was a single day record. The airport is projecting total passengers for the year will be 24.5 million. That'll be up 7% year over year. So very busy times in the city. And then what's ahead for us? I just turned on some new data through a company called TravelClick, and they're focusing on pacing data, how occupancy is pacing, what's on the books. And we have a sample size of about 70% of hotels in downtown and midtown through TravelClick. And it's aggregating hotel reservation software to see how much the hotels have on the books. And here's some of the analysis. Looking at June in total, we're up about 4.3% with, if you include all the segments, including group committed. CMA Fest is here again in early June, 6 through 9, 4 days. That shows a pacing spike of about 20% on that week. Zach Bryan will be at Nissan Stadium on June 29th, and we're seeing pacing for that single day to be up 51%, what's on the books now. So be advised that July, we're pacing down same time last year. So you see July transient is pacing down about 30%. Some of this is just when concerts are happening in the city versus last year versus this year. Last year, end of July, we had 2 nights of George Strait and Chris Stapleton. That was our biggest demand weekend last year. This year, we're going to see a boost with Brad Paisley performing on August 3rd. Looks like the pacing's up 66% on that specific day. Overall pacing for August is up 38.5% in total. So this data clearly demonstrates the pacing variations by major events on when they're happening in downtown, making a positive impact on overnight visitation. With that, thanks so much for your time. Happy to entertain any questions.
This research is so valuable because we look at it and go, okay, we need to do more advertising to push July.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
With marketing and, forecasting year on out, like 26, 27, 28, for example, and the strategic partnerships with international travel that's coming into Nashville, are there conversation pieces with the people who are booking to Nashville about outside areas other than downtown that drives people to different neighborhoods in the city?
I think Heather can speak to that.
Too on the marketing side. I'm sorry. Yeah, certainly on the marketing side, we're always talking about neighborhoods. I mean, we have videos for every neighborhood that we've been shooting. We have, our press trips are literally done by neighborhood. So certainly, yes, on the leisure side, we talk about it all the time.
And on the group side too, convention in particular, there are clients who come to town who tour Lower Broadway and say, I don't think this is the right fit for our group. And they look at other neighborhoods. We're constantly pushing the neighborhoods and the unique aspects and the dining component. I mean, it definitely works to our benefit. Opryland is another example outside the downtown loop that we constantly partner with their team, and we appreciate that. So yes, we're always planting that seed. Appreciate the question.
Your website is pretty. I wanted to compliment your website. Number one, it's easy to send to anyone who calls and wants to know what to do in Nashville. And I have so many friends from all over the world and country that come in, spend a week. Sometimes they spent 2 weeks here. What do we do? In the old days, you type up a whole dissertation, and now the website, to correlate with Hugh here, it mentioned getting into the neighborhoods. That's a good way to send it to them and say, all right, they're going to tell you not only what's going on and where you're staying in the city, but you're going to want to know about, be it 12 South, be it Sylvan Park, whatever it is, and wherever. You do a great job, the people do here, in putting that information in an easy to read and most importantly, easy to find compartment. And it's done us a world of good when we're trying to help our visitors.
Yeah, and we actually just, in working on the new website, had a content audit last week, and they told us that 73% of the content on our website is actually focused on outside of downtown Nashville. So that's the level of, content that we have out there about neighborhoods surrounding downtown.
We've been very intentional about promoting the neighborhoods really for 10 years. Yeah. At least 10 years, when the neighborhoods really start building up, and we realized, at the same time social media was taking off, and it's so easy for people to promote downtown because they're at the bars and they're out and they're young. And we wanted to make sure that our visitors understood there's more to Nashville. Yeah. And we have so much to offer, and to different kinds of visitors. I mean, we really try to reach a different demographic through all the different neighborhoods.
And a big reason why we're also partnering with Urbanite, as well as, I don't think I mentioned the Tennessee Pride Guide, the online version is launching, I think, June 1st, 2nd, something like that, is to get people out into those cultural communities and really support and promote that. And I know, when we book our convention services team is always fielding those questions about, from the meeting planner. We want to support, get out into the communities and support these businesses. Can you share it with us? So we're always having that conversation.
Locally, I was with a couple other chefs at other restaurants last night at this event, and I'm seeing an increase in local support, but we're seeing, and the consensus in the conversation was a decrease in people coming from other cities and outside travel in the restaurants.
And I think that speaks to what Bruce was saying. It's slowing down some. For the last couple of years, we've seen what was coined globally as revenge tourism. Everyone came out strong, traveled, 3-4 trips a year, 5 trips a year after COVID. And now with the economy, with inflation, things are tightening up. People aren't traveling as much. So we're seeing it, and you see it in those numbers too. With occupancy, it's starting to slow down, normalize. I mean, Nashville's still strong, very strong destination. I was just at a convention with destinations from across the country, and everybody's saying the same thing. So when you look at the top 25, we're still at the same spot. It's just everybody else is at the same level too, just kind of coming down a little bit. Not seeing that double-digit growth that we were seeing.
And I think to your comment about normalization, when you see that supply growth too, we're absorbing a lot of it, right? The demand is up, but it's spreading out. So it's normalizing, and then when the hotel rates start to come down a little bit, that is also the sign that that we're fighting for business, and we have to be more competitive rate-wise, et cetera. That training I had mentioned earlier, I think that's a really, really powerful tool, and for your frontline people and for hotel frontline people, I know that's helps them describe, if they haven't been to the neighborhood, helps them just sort of lead people into those neighborhoods too. So it's a good tool. Good question.
Good.
Thank you.
We always like to be asked that because a lot of people assume that we just promote downtown. I'm not sure why, but we promote the entire city. Always have.
All right. Our next meeting is scheduled for September 12th at 8:30 a.m. Do we have any other business, or does anybody have any announcements they'd like to share? Well, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion.
Thank you, Hank. Second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Thank you all for being here.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.